So yesterday we discussed in the Lakum what you're allowed to tell a non-Jew to do or not allowed to tell a non-Jew to do on Shabbos. So repeat over it from yesterday. Every time you're discussing if a non-Jew could do something for you, there are three questions. First of all, are you allowed to tell him to do it? And second of all, if you didn't tell him to do it, if he's doing it on his own, do you have to tell him to stop? Many times you're obligated to tell him to stop. Third of all, if he already did it, are you allowed to use it? Are you allowed to benefit from the work that the non-Jew did for you on Shabbos? So the general halacha is that no, you can't. You cannot benefit from the work that a non-Jew did for you on Shabbos. The reason for this is, Rabbi says, the reason for this is because we're worried that if we let you benefit from the work a non-Jew did on Shabbos, you might come to tell him to do it. You're enjoying it; it's nice. You're enjoying everything he's doing for you, so you're going to tell him to do it for you.
Don't you have to wait the amount of time?
Oh yes, that's going to be the whole discussion over here. So let's see. So we have the Mishnah inside. Look on the top right. There's a Gemara. On the top right, there's a Gemara in Shabbos Daf Kuf Chav Beis Amar Aleph. The Mishnah says, "A nachri shehedlik ner es haner mishtamish l'idi Yisrael." If a non-Jew lit a candle for himself, not for a Jew, then a Jew is allowed to use it. You're allowed to benefit from the candle that the non-Jew lit for himself. Ve'im b'shvil Yisrael aser. But if the non-Jew lit the candle for the Jew, it is aser, and it is forbidden for him to benefit from it.
Why does it say nachri shehedlik tzaneh b'shviloi? B'shvil atzmai.
B'shviloi?
Yeah. Just says the nachri that lit the whole candle, use it. You can use it.
Right. Menastam, you assume he's doing it for himself.
So then why does the second one say v'im loi?
Menastam, you assume if he lights a candle and he's using it, you assume it's for himself. If he tells you straight out, if he tells you straight out he's doing it for you, then it's going to be usher. So then it repeats. The Mishnah gives another example. Milei mayim lahashkis behemte. If an non-Jew filled up water from the well, so he brought it out from Shus HaYachid into Shus HaRabim to feed his animals. The Jew could feed his animals after him because he filled up the water for himself, and he didn't do the malacha. So he didn't do malacha for the Jew. So even though the Nachri did a malacha, since it wasn't intended for the Jewish person, he's allowed to use it, and we're not worried that he's going to come to tell the non-Jew to do it. But if he had in mind that he was doing it for the Yid, then it is Asr, and he's not allowed to benefit from it.
And what's B'shvil Shneim?
And for him and for the Yid?
Yeah.
So that's a big discussion. I think at the end of the day it's Asr. But it's a whole discussion. If he did it for him, the question is, what's his main intention? Is his main intention for himself, or is his main intention for? If a non-Jew did something for both a Jew and another non-Jew equally, so then the halacha is that it's going to be usher. If he did it,
say the principle that you make extra. Let's say he fills up the throat for the animal to feed from. He makes extra. He overfills it. Like sometimes you cook something. You cook for 2 days. You make extra. The second day. Is there any concept of that, a violation?
Yeah,
like we say, like as long as part of the Erev Shabbos, when you're doing Hachana, from Shabbos Yom Tov, the opposite, as long as you can eat some of it now, even though you make a huge bowl, it's mutter. So what's the difference? There you're making most of it for afterwards, we say just...
But in this case, that little bit he did, even though most of it he did for himself, but that little bit he added for the Jew, that little bit was done fully for the Jew. So that's completely us. So a candle, he only did one action, and that one action was for both of them. So that's a separate discussion. But over here, when each little bit he does for the Jew, he's adding more. So that little bit was done completely for him, and it's going to be usher. Right. So this is in Mishra. Fine. So we say in Mishra Yisrael, if he filled up the water for the Jew, he's not allowed to benefit from it. Also nachri kevesh. If he made a ramp in order to go down from the boat for himself, and the Jew could go down after him because he did it for himself. If he did it for the Jewish person, it is usher. And it brings a story. And the elders, they're traveling on a boat, and the boat came in and I guess the boat landed on Shabbos. But also Nochi Kevesh laid by the other by Rabbi Gamliel's Canaan, and the non-Jew made a ram for himself, and Rabbi Gamliel's Canaan used it afterwards because the non-Jew did it for himself. Therefore, it was permissible. So we see from this Mishnah that when any work which a non-Jew does for a Jew, you are not allowed to benefit from it. Because we're worried that might bring a Jew to actually ask him straight out. So
What if he did it last week?
What?
What if he did it last week for the Jew?
Oh, so the question is, you're asking how long is it going to be usher for?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's right. So there are two things. Our Mishnah doesn't tell us. How long is he not allowed to use it for? For sure on Shabbos.
Well, no, you're saying no. Hmm? How long? It's Mash. You're never allowed to use it.
It says you should for sure. It means on this Shabbos. For sure on Shabbos you can't use it for. The question is after Shabbos. Are you allowed to use it after Shabbos? That's one thing our Mishnah doesn't say clear. We're going to see that in the next piece we do. Another thing it doesn't tell us is a different Jew who the guy didn't do it for. Is he allowed to use it? Right. In the case of our Mishnah, this non-Jew lit a candle for a Jewish friend, so he's not allowed to use it. Is another Jew who he didn't light it for? Is he allowed to use it?
Yeah. Another thing is, do you have to assume if you don't know who did it that the guy did it for himself, or do you say like it's a roiv? They go bust a roiv. Usually the guy does it for himself, not for a Jew.
Oh, so if
it should be like an umdana.
Right. So if he used
don't
it,
like Jews.
If the non-Jew lit the candle and he used it, so you know he did it for himself. However, if there were a bunch of Jewish people sitting around, and he just lit the candle and walked out of the room, then obviously he did it for the people in the room, and they're not allowed to use it.
Right.
But so our question. So from our Gemara, our Mishnah here, we see that if a non-Jew lit a candle for a Jew, you're not allowed to use it. So there are two things I have to point out before you go further. What if you're in shul or you're in your house and it's dark in the room and there's a non-Jew passing by, he sees you sitting in the dark, so I'll do you a favor, I'll turn on the light for you. So you're not allowed to benefit from the light, but do you have to leave the room? Are you allowed to stay in the room after the light was turned on?
Yeah, you're not getting. That's not real, but no.
You say, but you're not sitting in the dark. Now you're sitting in the light.
Wait, there's no tangible benefit.
Right, but you're not allowed to benefit from it.
No, there's no.
So yeah, you're right. The halacha is that you don't have to leave the room. Why? Even though you are benefiting from it,
it's there already.
It is considered benefiting from it, but
it's not something that you're going to go. We said the reason why the Nachri doing a Malach B'Yid is going to come to Amira Nachri, but over here
we really essentially we do
usually
have
people sit in the light. It's not like they're going to come to call the guy to light up the room again. Cause
essentially we would be worried for it, but the reason why we don't send him out, the Yerushalmi says, we do not want to bother a person to send him out of his house. It's true we don't.
That's assuming he has a one-room house.
It's to now even if there's a few rooms. You're sitting in your room. It's in your house. This is where you're dwelling. A non-Jew comes in. He turns on light. He's going to kick you out of your house.
Your room.
It's true. We don't allow you to benefit from it. Like for example, if he lit this candle, if he lit the light in this room, even though you don't have to walk out. You're not allowed to read by the candle. You're not allowed to use the candle. Use the light to go to. You're not allowed to use the light to look around and see what's going on in the room. Things that you couldn't do before. You don't have to leave the room. You can keep sitting there, but you can't actively use the light because
But how could you not use the light? The light's there.
Oh, so that type of, you're right, you're saying just sitting in the light, you're already enjoying it. So,
no, well, whatever you're going to do, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about whatever you're going to do, just being a person.
Right, Jews don't just sit and twiddle their thumbs, you're saying.
Whatever you're going to do, you're in the house, you're residing there. So obviously the light is on, so you're going to make use out of it somehow. You're going to look at the wall, whatever.
You're going to look at the wall. That you can't help it. What are you like? What are you supposed to do? You can't actively whatever you would have normally done when the light was off. You could keep doing. If there's something which you wouldn't have done if the light was off, and now you could do it because the light is on.
That's together.
That you can't do. Yeah, so even though essentially just sitting in the room is considered benefiting from the candle, but still we're not gonna chase someone out of their house because a non-Jew decided to light the candle for him.
Right. So whatever you're going to do, you have to make sure that you could have done that activity without the light that's available now.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes.
Maybe a parallel, like in the hospital, if you walk behind a guy and go by the electric eye, then you're allowed to go through. because he's going by anyway, and you're just going behind him. So you're
Right,
not
so-
doing anything.
Right, so that's like by the case in the Mishnah where the non-Jew did it for himself and he
Right.
didn't do it for you.
Right.
Let me.
Are you causing it to stay open longer?
Another.
No, you're just slipping in because you're like his shadow.
Another-
You're behind him.
Another similar halacha we find. What if you have a cholent and the cholent was cold, and the guy feels bad for you? You realize you forgot to put it on the fire, so it's already cooked, everything's ready, and you could eat it cold. It could be eaten cold, and the guy decides he's going to do you a favor and he's going to put it on the fire for you. And he puts it on the fire and he heats it up. Are you allowed to eat it? Seemingly, he did a malacha for you. He heated it up.
He has to feed you.
He did a malacha bishul for you. Seemingly, it should be usher. You shouldn't be allowed to use it. So here, there's another halacha, which is
It's because of Shabbat, because of Lakum.
No, it's cooked
so
already.
it was already cooked before, and he heated it up for you. So you're benefiting from the malacha of a
And
guy.
you didn't tell him.
You did not tell him. He did it by yourself, and you didn't see. He didn't ask your permission. He did it on his own. You didn't see. You didn't say.
And he didn't do it
nothing
for himself,
happened.
he did it for you.
He did it for you.
Well, that wasn't even a malacha.
Putting it on the fire.
Yeah,
It's
it's a derabbanan.
right, but so according to some shittas, if it's davar lach, if it's wet, you have bishul achar bishul. So according to some opinions, it's a deraisa.
But it's
But even-
ena yafalei. You don't want it to become cooked up. You want the lach to stay lach.
Yes, but lahalacha, even though it's even mitzamik the yafale, it's still aser mishum vashel. If it was completely cold. If it was completely cold and you put something right on the fire, according to any shittas, it's aser mishum vashel. And even if it's only midrabanan, even if the guy did only something else aser midrabanan, you're still not allowed to use it, even though it's only aser midrabanan.
Okay, what if you get it
He did
before
chazara for you.
What if you get it before it gets to the yatzah? Let us play.
Oh, first let me say, first of all, what if it is Yasser Let's Play? What's the halacha? So here, this is a halacha which origins in... This halacha is brought down, the Magen Avraham brings down Rishon and Gimel from the Mordechai Dar Zeruah, you don't remember? He says that we don't give the nemanis to this guy to make your things usher for you. You didn't tell him to do it. This guy, you were able to eat your cholent before. This guy walks in. Actually, the case over there he's talking about was where when they have by simchas, by chasnos, they would have a big thing of shalom, they have a thing of hot food, and the goyim would go and they would put it on the fire to keep it to warm it up again. So the question was, are you allowed to use it? So the ruling he gave was it's allowed.
Guy is working for you, and he knows every Friday night you're putting children, and you see it's not on, so he put it on. He knows maybe it's normal procedure. He worked for you for years.
But we're not talking about someone who's getting paid. We're talking about a regular non-Jew. If someone's getting paid, all these discussions about non-Jew doing something for you, if he's getting paid, that changes everything. It depends. How's he getting paid? Is he getting paid per job, per day?
Okay.
That's a whole different discussion. It's completely beyond what we're talking about now. But in this case, a non-Jew put it on the fire. So what was the ruling? Were you allowed to use it? So he says you are. First of all, maybe it wasn't completely cold. And even if it was completely cold, Lav kol kamine, we don't trust him to make it usher for you. The guy doesn't have a koyach to make your things usher for you. You were able to benefit from it. You could have eaten your cholent. What now? Because this guy walks in and he heats up your food for you. He's going to take away what you had before. It's true we don't allow you to benefit from what the non-Jew did for you, but we don't let the non-Jew take away from what you already had.
He would be able to eat it cold. Technically, you can eat it cold.
He would have been able to eat it cold before, and now the non-Jew heated it up.
But he had no plans in eating it. Cholent is not something that's usually eaten cold.
If he would have eaten it cold, let's say it was room temperature.
Okay.
It was room temperature. He would have eaten it, and the guy went and heated it up for him. So even though normally you're not allowed to benefit from the guy, but that's only if you're. But it's true we don't let you benefit, but we don't let you lose out. If it was completely not cooked, then you wouldn't have been able to eat it on Shabbos, and then the non-Jew heated it up for you. So then, yeah, you're not allowed to use it because now you're completely benefiting from the malach of the non-Jew. But if you would have been able to eat it before, it was room temperature, it wasn't bad, and the guy decided to heat it up for you. You didn't tell him to do it, so you are allowed. So we don't.
What's the terminology for that? Have you made that?
Lav kol kamine la'asrei bal korchei. The lashon is something on the line. We don't believe him. We don't give him the koyach to take away the hana that you had before. The hana, the benefit that you had before. True, we don't let you gain any benefit, but we also don't let you lose out.
Lav kol kamine.
So.
But if something is warm and the person has to be nitpicking it, it's very tough. It's a habit for me. It's adding the heat to it. Like it's good. It's warm. It's lukewarm. It's tepid, and he makes it. Some people like the soup boiling hot, so he makes it boiling hot.
So it depends if you were allowed to put it. Yeah, this is getting into Dinei of Shia and Chazara. If you have all the Tanai, if the Yid would have been allowed to put it back on the fire, then there's no problem if the guy did it, because he could have also done it. If it was a type of situation that the Yid could not have put it back on the fire, then it's a problem. But there's one condition. This is only if the Jew saw him putting it on the fire and he kept quiet. It's usher.
That's a problem.
Then we don't say that if the Jew saw him putting it back on the fire and he kept quiet, that means he agreed to it. That means he was okay with it. In that case, we say it's usher. He's not allowed to eat the cholent, and he loses out from what he had before, even though before he could have eaten it.
It works.
It's just like telling you. Just like if you would tell the guy to put it back on the fire, you're not allowed to eat it. So too, if you're watching and you keep quiet, you're also not allowed to eat it.
Wow.
I'm sorry, did anyone have a car in the driveway on the side here?
The chiddush.
Yeah.
No one? Anyone enjoy a car?
So it's better when you see a guy not to ignore it.
This is, we say, if a guy does a malacha for you, you're not allowed to use it, right? That's a halacha.
Right.
You're not allowed to benefit from it. But we gave an exception to the rule is that we also don't let him take away from what you had before. Like,
Live kol kamine.
if you would have been able to eat the cholent was warm. It wasn't so, or it was cold, but you would have been able to eat it. You wouldn't have been able to eat it, and the guy put it on the fire for you. You didn't tell him to do it, and you didn't see him do it. He did it on his own. So either you're not allowed to benefit from it, but we don't give the guy the koyach to take away your benefit that you would have had before. And therefore, you would have been able to eat it before, so you're still allowed to eat it. We don't take it away from you. But if you saw him doing it and you kept quiet, you didn't protest, that means you're okay with it. And it's almost as if you told him to do it, and therefore it's usher, you're not allowed to eat it.
So how come when the guy filled up the water over here, on
Yeah.
Shabbos, it was Yom Tov actually.
It was Yom Tov?
It was
It
Shabbos.
was Shabbos?
The Rav says nobody should use it.
Oh, so I was thinking about that. So what was the story over here? Someone the guy filled up the hot water.
There
on
was hot
Shabbos.
water, right? Let's say to here. And the guy figures soon it's going to be finished forever because somebody made the temperature hot, so evaporate fast, right? So he went in himself and he know that and he filled it up. But nobody told him, nobody asked him.
He said, in this question,
Maybe somebody saw him. Maybe
He
somebody
do
saw
it
him
usually
doing
on Friday. He do it for us. He
right, so
usually
I don't
do
know
it.
why
That's his job.
I don't know what the Rav's reasoning is, but I can say from what I understand is that you're saying seemingly you would have been able to drink the water beforehand.
Yeah.
First of all, if the urn was empty,
Because it was about to be empty.
if it was empty and he put it in, so even though you could have drank the water before, but just take different water. You need that water. You could drink more cold water. If this was the only water you had and the guy heated it up for you, then yeah, you would still be allowed to do it.
Because you're not gaining.
Go take different water. And even though in this case, if there was some hot water beforehand, you could argue. If there was a little bit, so you could say. So how do you know? If you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe if you know exactly how much there was, then you could say that you could drink that much.
The whole thing. I don't know.
Right, so I think
Maybe he wanted for himself also. You see no water there, you want a cup of tea.
He every Friday come and fill it up.
The Rob said it's no good, so you're trying to figure out why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I think that's how you take.
Now you're allowed to.
What?
It could be there were people.
I'll say go take different water. You
It
don't
could
have
be
to
there
take
were
this
people
water
standing.
There's no
Yeah.
different water.
Friday night, no
from
water.
the sink.
No, I want the
Tea,
problem
coffee.
is he
You
make-
want hot water.
He made a hot water. I want to make a coffee. He made
But
a
how
hot
do you know?
Right, so the only
You don't know
thing-
exactly how much water there was.
We know that it was very little because
You can see from the
turn
thing.
on the heat for very high, so evaporate fast. That's what happened.
Right. So how do you know? So you don't know how much water there was beforehand. So how are you supposed to? How are you can't take water because how do you know when the water that you had before the guy added is finishing
Right, so
or when
the
it's
only
not
thing
done?
that makes it mutter is the fact that he's making it worse because you could have drank it cold. That's the only thing that's making it mutter. The fact that he can't make it worse for you because you could have drinking cold. So he's saying two things. He's saying number one, that cold water is available from the sink.
From the sink, I don't eat this.
So then you lose the fact that he's not making it worse for you.
But this is also only if someone was standing around and watching him doing it and they kept quiet, then it's us, right? Because they should have said
They
something.
found out later afterward.
Okay.
Right,
So
So
then,
you know there was empty. Hey,
second
you
of
fill
all,
up.
there could have been
yeah.
You fill up.
there could have been people in the room when it happened.
One more.
No, nobody was there.
Nobody
One
was-
more exception to the rule. One more exception to the rule where you are allowed to benefit from what a non-Jew does is if it's l'tzarich mitzvah, meaning even though let's say it's a situation where you're not allowed to tell the Jew to do it for you on Shabbos.
Like I said, like
Let's-
a bris.
and-
Like a bris.
No, you're not allowed to say. The guy did it for you. He did a malacha deiraisa. He cut down his sukkis. That's the example that's brought down Shulchan Aruch. He cut down a Rabbi, or he cut down a lulav for you, and he brought it for you on Yom Tov. So he did.
You asked yesterday if you're
So it's also Minatayr. So you're not allowed to tell them to do it. That's clear. You're not allowed to tell them to cut down the branch for you.
Okay.
But what if you already did it? So we know from the guy does a malacha for you. You're not allowed to benefit from it. It's asur b'hana. You're not allowed to have a hana from the malacha that the guy did.
And if he didn't do it for me, he went ahead and he cut two
Where this case where he did it for you. So the Mordechai has a chiddush. He says that mitzvah is lav lehanis nitnu.
Right.
Mitzvahs were given to you for your pleasure. Mitzvahs were given to you to do it for Hashem. When you're doing a mitzvah, you're Hashem's servant. You're serving Him. You're not serving yourself. You're not benefiting it. You're not benefiting from it. So therefore, when it comes to using the malacha, if the guy cut down a lulav or a rabbis for you on Yom Tiv, you're allowed to benefit from it because you're not benefiting from it. It's asur b'hana, but you're not having hana.
It's similar like if somebody stole the shofar and blow it, you're not allowed to steal a shofar. But if somebody went ahead and stole the shofar, it's yoitze. How come?
Truth is, I said the example of cutting down from a tree. I'm not sure how correct that is. Could be there's a problem of muksa. If it's muksa, then you might not be able to use it. I don't remember, but let's say he brought it chutz the Yud Beis Mill. He brought it from far away. He did a malach which was asur in a way that it's not muksa. So if you to use it for l'tzeirach mitzvah is lav hanis nitnu, and it's fine. And I said there's a truth from Rabbi Yehuda. He says that not only mitzvah deraisa, but even by a mitzvah derabanan, we also say mitzvah zalvehani snitnu.
Wow.
So therefore you would be. So these are so also.
If the goy doing something for me for mitzvah, I'm allowed to. If it's just for pleasure, it depends.
If it's for you're not allowed. If a guy did something for you, you're not allowed to benefit from it.
No,
But if he brought a sakin, he carried a sakin on Shabbos by himself for the Jew.
For bris milah.
Yeah.
So
it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah.
Oh, so first of all, bris milah. I didn't mention this yesterday. But only regarding bris milah, we rely on the opinion that say that you could have a guy do something which is also min atayra. All other mitzvahs we don't. Only by bris milah we rely on the lenient shita.
Why?
Because you have the bahag and a lot of you have a nice.
Why don't you use the same thing for shofar?
Oh, because there's only one rishon that applies it to other mitzvahs. First of all, one question is by milah, are you allowed to do tell a guy to do even a malacha deraisa or only derabanan? And the second question is, could you apply it to other mitzvahs?
Oh.
Right. So we ruled this. So we said yesterday the halacha was for other mitzvahs you can only tell a guy to do a shvus to shvus.
The ran, only the ran.
Because bala iter, the bala iter is the only opinion that says such a thing. So therefore, we don't rely on him. However, when it comes to bris milah, since you have the bahag and you have Rabbi Yinus and you have other shainim, so over there. If you have to, you could rely on that opinion. But yeah.
Well, let's say the guy did put something on the fire, right? And it's about to and it's going to become a special. Are you allowed to tell him to take it off so you can eat your challah cold? In other words,
it's not over.
No,
so
yeah.
Are you obligated?
No, then you won't be able to eat challah on Shabbos. If he puts a challah on the fire. And it gets to the Yatzlezbo, he said, you're not allowed to eat it.
You're saying, are you obligated to tell him to stop?
No, I'm saying...
You move it yourself.
Can you be Maramis to take it off? Because now you want it, otherwise you won't be able to eat it on Shabbos.
You'd probably be obligated to... No, you could eat it on... If you're able to eat it before, then you are allowed to eat it.
Bishul Lakum. You said it's Bishul Lakum.
No.
The guy put the child on the
If it was cooked before, there's no Bishul Lakum.
He said, Davalach.
Not Bishul Lakum, Bishul on Shabbos. That's Bishul and Dinei Shabbos. That's not Bishul regarding Bishul Lakum.
Oh.
Regarding a Bishul on Shabbos, it's considered Bishul.
But you're not allowed to get Hana from it.
Oh, so even though we don't let you get Hana, but we don't let the guy doesn't have the koyach to take away the Hana that you could have had before. So if before you would have been able to eat it the way it was, when it wasn't warm, you would have eaten it anyways. So we allow you to eat it anyways because we don't let him take away the benefit that you had.
Even though he did it for you, you're allowed to eat it?
Only if you would have been able to eat it before. If it was frozen, or if the situation was the case, or you
said it was usher.
No, we said yesterday.
If it was a situation where you would have not have been able to benefit from it before, so then you're not allowed to use it because you're not allowed to have hana from Allah of a guy. But we also don't let him take away the hana that you would have had before. So it depends on whether you would have been able to benefit from it before.
So there's a little bit of water, and he fills it up, right? But you don't want to have water from the sink. You want the hot water, even though there's only a little bit. So can you tell him to make it where there's only a little bit again? Because if it's full, you don't know. Use it. But maybe you want to say, make it where there's...
You're asking if you're saying
Not telling him anything.
you're asking since then if there's a little bit of hot water and the guy filled it up. So anyways, you would have been able to drink that little bit of hot water. He just added more. So just drink the little bit, don't drink the rest. So if theoretically you would know exactly how much water there was, so then perhaps I don't know, ask it up. Maybe that would be okay. I don't know, ask it up. But the only thing is you don't know. Where do you draw the line? How do you know which? How do you know? The only reason I think it might be a problem is you don't know where is the water that where does it start and where does it end. It's all
mixed.
Yeah, I guess the only hope is that, like, by you saying that...
Oh, maybe if you had... Oh, maybe...
saying that you released...
Fine, so...
Can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that we're saying the reason why Lakum doing malach for a Yid on Shabbos is because the Yid might come on his own to ask the guy to do malach with him, right?
Yeah.
He'll get used. He'll get. Oh, this is great. I'll ask him next Shabbos. But it's But if it's for a mitzvah, then what's the difference? Even though it's a mitzvah, Ein la nos b'hem, he still could come to ask the guy to do it.
So the Mordechai says this. He says, first of all, right, it says you're allowed to benefit to the malach which a guy does for you, tzedach mitzvah, you're allowed to use it, because Mrs. Avahanis nintnu. And he says, there's also not chisha, you're going to come to tell him to do it, because it's not motzei. You're going to tell a guy to do a aveira for you in order that you could do a mitzvah.
No, you're going to be missing a robe. So you're going to say, guy, go clip it for me, do it for me.
Right, but it's not something that happens. How often is you're going to go tell a guy to do it? You're going to do a aveira to do a mitzvah.
Yeah, you just said it.
Why? You're going to tell him to turn on the lights. If he comes and turns the lights on you, right? That you're sitting in the house and it's dark, and then he turns on the lights. So what do you mean? That's not shchichi. How often is it? Lights going to go out on Shabbos, and you're going to go, and a guy's going to come on his own and light them for you.
Only let's say the mitzvah. I remember the lashon. I think he had a lashon either it's not shchiach or maybe it says we're not chishish that you're going to tell a guy to do a aveira in order to do a mitzvah. He addressed that question. I don't remember the exact wording.
Example: a lady need to go to the mikveh on Friday night, and she forgot to cut the nails.
So that's a shvus to shvus.
And you're asking a guy to cut the nails with a shinoi.
Yeah, so that's a shvus to shvus.
It's not a deraisa.
It's a shvus to shvus. It's a shinoi.
You're not allowed to.
No,
it's a shinoi. You're doing it in a funny way, so it's only the rabbanon, and you're telling a guy to do it. So it's a shvus to shvus, and it's a tzedach mitzvah, so that would be okay.
That's okay. That's the dogma you bought yesterday.
Yeah,
this is what a guy doing a deraisa for you over here. This is a good guy doing it right.
Yeah, even by the reisa.
It's interesting.
So we have to. So we gave 3 exceptions to when the rule is you're not allowed to have hana from malacha which a guy did for you, even though you didn't tell him to do it. We gave 3 exceptions for it, but now the Mishnah writes. So the Mishnah tells us that a guy lit a candle for you, you're not allowed to benefit from it. 2 things that the Mishnah didn't tell us is for how long are you not allowed to benefit from it? For sure on Shabbos. What about after Shabbos? Are you allowed to benefit from it after Shabbos? And also, is it also for everyone or only for the Jewish person that it was done for? If the guy lit it for his friend, the Yid, but all the other, so the Yid who was not lit for, are they allowed to benefit from it? So this is look at the right side on the bottom column, the right column on the bottom.
What happened if a Yid? A Yid turned on the light by mistake.
Yeah, then what?
So he's not allowed to benefit with it. Somebody else is allowed to benefit from that?
If a Yid does it, no. You're not allowed to benefit from it on Shabbos.
By accident.
By accident?
Yeah, I made a mistake, I turned on the light. So I can use it. But somebody else could come and use it?
You can use it. A Yid is allowed to use it.
I don't think so. Let me check.
So
by accident, right?
If the light went off in the kitchen, when is it?
Yeah, no. Even if he did it by mistake, it's also for other people. By Isur D'Rabbanan.
So that's by Yid.
If it was only a D'Rabbanan, I think we're making for someone else. If he did it,
yeah, I forgot, Bencha.
Well, remember we said before we don't obligate someone to we don't kick someone out of their house. So even if a Yid is in your house and decides to turn on the light for you in your bedroom, you don't have to leave your house. We're not by the matriach a person to leave his house. Even
how is it that you see that people who have, like, let's say a light is turned on in the bedroom, get a guy to turn it off? You're saying that's the chlal, not much.
Oh, that's.
They see a common thing. People do it. How is it mutter?
It's tzar.
That's a different question. First of all, you are not sorry. First of all, you're not allowed to tell a guy to do it. The question is, what if you hinted?
You're hinting him. You don't tell him to shut off the
Okay,
light.
so
Hinting him.
it's a.
You're hinting him.
No, but hang on, wait.
knows the deal.
Hinting.
Can't sleep, pal.
You make a stick.
Right.
People can't sleep with the lights on.
Yeah.
You make a blanket stick.
And they can't sleep in anyone else's bed but their own.
They're not on the
shop. on Friday night.
They only can sleep in their own
And I
bed.
told the Shvat.
Okay, wait. I have to. No, this is.
After-
Well, you're asking about turning on the candle. It's, you have to remember when it comes to having a non-Jew do things for you. There's three parts to it. Are you first of all allowed to tell him to do it? First of all, also if not, even if you didn't tell him to, do you have to tell him to stop? And if you did it anyways,
We're
are you allowed
telling
to
him in a
benefit from it?
roundabout way. You're telling him you can't.
Oh, so first of all, if you tell him a
Say
roundabout
those three
way,
things again.
so then you first of all, are you allowed to tell him to do it?
Right.
Who says you're allowed to tell him?
Right.
And even if you got around the problem of telling it to him, could be you're obligated to tell him to stop.
Right.
And even if
well,
you
you're
already
telling
did
him to
it,
do it in a roundabout way.
oh so
So why are you telling him to
oh
stop?
so there's
No, 'cause then someone says you're not allowed to
there's a
hint
din
things.
of
Someone
sipper
tells
dvarim. There's a din of sipper dvarim. You have to be very careful. If you hint it out, if you tell it in a roundabout way, so you got past the problem of telling him because you didn't tell him to do it. You did it in a roundabout way, and then he's doing it on his own after he realized that you need that. But you have to be very careful because even if you hint it out, even if you tell him, by the way, if you come a guy, excuse me, would you be able to help me? My light is on. I don't know what to do. That's a problem. You just ask the guy, excuse me, can you help me? You just asked
You're saying
him.
the roundabout way is not common knowledge. People don't know how to do the roundabout way.
You're not allowed to tell him to do anything. You could tell him, by the way, my light is on and it's a problem. I don't know what to do. I can't turn it on, and I'm not allowed to
You tell
ask
him,
someone
come
to
inside
do
that-
it.
Oh.
You can, but
This is only right if it's
but you
right?
can't tell him to do anything. If he asks you, oh, would you like me to turn it off for you? You're not allowed to say yes because you just told him what to
Tell
do.
him it's up to you.
What? You
can
tell him,
ask
I'm
you,
not
then
allowed
it's
to
up
tell
to
you.
you.
I'm not allowed to tell you. Also, if you the
So
example
you're
that's
gonna tell him,
given.
I'm not allowed to tell you. Then he knows
I'm
exactly.
not allowed to tell you that I want the lights on.
So for example, the example which is brought
That's a
down in
rather
Shulchan
not-
Aruch, the example which is brought down in Shulchan Aruch is if you needed to, I'm not sure how it worked back then. Sometimes you need to break off the top of the wick in order that the candle should burn better. So you tell the guy, can you wipe the dust off your nose? That's the example how you would hint it. Can you please wipe the dust off your nose? And he'll understand that you wanted to wipe the ash off the top of the candles.
Well,
So
that's a smart guy.
But so that's usher. You're not allowed to do it.
Oh, that's not.
You are
you.
not allowed to do it
You're not
because
allowed
even
to
though
tell him
you.
wipe the
Because why? You didn't tell him to do a malacha. You only hinted to him, but you gave him a tziva. You commanded him to do something, and your intention was for a malacha.
action that has nothing to do with it.
Even the right, but as long as you
See,
commanded,
that's not a remez. That's
as
not a remez.
that's a remez, but there's remez is
big time
also
Not a remez. It's like
there's a
it's like
remez
it's
which
command.
is a way of tzivli.
Oh,
It's a
oh.
big
could
time
have-
remez. You have to be,
Remez with
not only it's a
Remez
remez, you have to be
is-
smart to figure it
Right,
out.
so you can have a remez, which is in a way of a command that you're telling him, you're commanding him to do it in a way of a hint. That's usher, but you can
Any
have.
command is usher in relation to this.
Yeah,
in
but
relation to the roundabout.
But if it's just super dvarim, if you're just telling him, by the way, you don't tell him to do anything, you don't tell him, excuse me, can you help me? You can't tell him, excuse me, can you help me? Because then you're asking him to do a malacha.
99% of the time, people don't even know how to do the roundabout way.
So that's
How
yeah.
often are you allowed to do even Binyomin to a guy? What's
Also-
Sarach Gadol? What is it? What are the
Also,
parameters?
first of all, this only gets around the problem of telling a guy.
of the roundabout.
But you also have a problem. First of all, do you have to tell him to stop? So
He just got through a massive hurdle of getting him to do something, and now you're asking, should I tell him to stop? Is a problem.
So there's a big machlekes as a shaynim. When are you obligated to tell a non-Jew to stop? When are you obligated to protest? There's an opinion. Rabbeinu Simcha says as long as the malacha he's doing is with the Jew's object, you're obligated to tell him to stop because he's touching your things without your he needs your permission to use your objects.
And
If he's
he's not
using your
allowed on
things
Shabbos.
and you're just standing there and keeping quiet, obviously you agree, and it's as if you're giving him permission. It's as if you're telling him. So according to Rabbeinu Simcha, seemingly hinting the guy hinting to the guy that, in a way of sipur dvarim that I need I can't to
He's
turn
not
off the
making-
light.
But he's not making use. He's not.
Even though you got the problem of telling it to him, but according to Rabbeinu Simcha, you would have to tell him stop. You can't. So it doesn't help.
He's not utilizing it. He's just flipping a switch. He's not actually using it.
But there's another according to the other shita which is chilek, which I think most opinions are paskin like that. They say that no, only if you are directly benefiting from it. If you are benefiting from the actual malacha, then you are obligated to tell him to stop. But if you are not benefiting from the actual malacha, you're just like, for example, by turning off a candle, you don't need you just need the darkness. You just need to get rid of the light. The actual malacha of putting out the candle, you don't care about. You just want the darkness. You're not benefiting from the actual malacha of putting out the candle.
How about air conditioning?
You're benefiting from the darkness. You just got rid of the problem. The candle was a problem, was bothering you. You got rid of the light, and now the problem is gone. But whereas turning on the light, telling a Jew to turn, telling it if the guy would turn on the light, you are directly benefiting. Your body is directly benefiting from the malacha that the guy did. So therefore, according to this opinion, you would be obligated to tell him to stop. But turning off a light, where you're not directly benefiting from the malacha which he did for you, is that you're not directly benefiting, so that you would not have to protest. And according to this opinion, you would be allowed to hint it away in a guy, in a way of sipet dvarim, without commanding him.
So
that would not be a problem.
How are you allowed to get the light on? That's the question.
Right. So most places in the Alter Rebbe is where it's tricky. So this is where you have to ask your Rav. In the beginning, the Alter Rebbe seems to go with the opinion of Rabbeinu Simcha, that it all depends on who it belongs to. But then there's a Kuntas Acher in Siman Shin Hey where he changes a little bit. He says we go with the opinion that it's only if the Yid is Nana. And also with the Rabasra, the Alter Rebbe changes some more. So what do we do? Halacha. So the Mishnah Berurah, if you look in the Malaktim in Piskei Teshuvos and in the Shmir Shams Kilcha, they all say that it's fine, it's no problem because you're not directly benefiting from it.
How about the air conditioning?
To turn on the light?
Turning off the light.
Okay, so how do we get the light on?
hint to the guy to turn it off. They say it'll be okay. According to the Alter Rebbe, it's not so clear. For sure, if you're so there you have to. Also, turning on. You're talking about an air conditioner. So
yeah, turning
on the air conditioner. First of all, it's your object, and you're directly benefiting from it. So according to everyone, that's a problem, and you have to tell them to stop. But turning off your air conditioner, you're not directly benefiting. You just want to get rid of the problem.
The Gabi, that's what we're like chaylim.
Oh, fine. So there's another halacha. If it's such a hot day and it's so terrible and it's so pain and it's such a big problem, so then there's a discussion if you can, then there's
we are allowed to.
What?
We do it over here on Shabbos.
Yeah, so they are placing that on matter. I didn't prepare on that sugyas. I can't tell you, but yeah, they are placing that on matter.
I was Friday night in my manatee, and my mother-in-law went to sleep, so I told her Shabbat. She's going to sleep. I don't think she needs a light. She said to me, the rabbi in this place, look in the synagogue, he threw the light over there. You're allowed to do it. I'm a Schwarze. I'm a Kluger Schwarze.
I'm a smart Schwarze.
She told me in Yiddish, I'm a Kluger Schwarze. I said, you've been working for too long, I see.
You need the raise.
Fine, so that
She didn't want to turn on the light.
So that was regarding the question of...
You didn't want to?
No.
Why?
And she told me I'm a Kluger Schwarze.
And
usually Kluger Schwarzes do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
That's what's klug about them.
Okay, so that...
So you should have known that the guy is not allowed to
I guess
she was sick. She needed the light off. She's a choyle.
That's running out of time.
She's cholanis. She needs the light off.
We have a lot of really big questions we still have to address. So first of all, the Mishnah tells us that if a guy lights a candle for you, can't benefit from it, right? So you cannot if he does it for the Jew. So first of all, for how long can you benefit once Shabbos is over? And also, is it also for every Jew or only for the Jew that it was done for?
These two questions.
So look in the second Gemara on the right side on the bottom. So Nachri, the second word Nachri, it's a Gemara in Shabbos Daf Kuf Nun Aleph. No, that's a mistake. It's in Beya. Actually, okay, my bad. On the left column on the top, the left side on the top of the page, there's a Gemara in Beya. On the top, on the left side. Amara Papa, Hilchasa, halacha is Nachri Shehevi Doirin Yisrael. If a non-Jew brought a gift for a Jew, B'Yom Tov. So the question, so he brought you some fruits. So you have two questions. First of all, did he bring it? Did he cut it? Did he cut it on Shabbos? Did he cut it on Shabbos, on Yom Tov, or not? So we say, if in the town which you are, they have these fruits attached to the ground.
It's the season.
It's the season for those fruits, and he could have picked them. So then it's usher, because chances are people usually pick them when they're fresh. He's bringing you a gift. He wants to bring you something good. He wants to bring you something fresh. So it's usher, because we assume that he picked it and he did a malacha for you. So you're not allowed to benefit from it. Ula erev. In the evening, nam yasurim bichdei sheyasu. Right? So here we see clearly that it's Asr Bichdei Sheyasu, the amount of time that would have taken for the Jew himself to go and pick these fruits. That's how. However,
Shabbos you have to wait.
however long it took for the non-Jew to go and pick it, that's how you have to wait that amount of time after Shabbos, because we don't want you to benefit from it. If we allow you to benefit from it right after Shabbos ends, we are worried, the Chacham are worried that you might come to tell the guy to do it on Shabbos in order that you should have it ready for you the second Shabbos ends. So therefore, Chacham didn't want you to benefit at all.
How about if he bought it? He didn't pick it up from the street.
Oh, so that's when he did a mocha. So picking is a mocha deraisa. You're asking what if he did a mocha derabanan? So but by the way, if you realize the Gemara over here doesn't.
What's mocha derabanan, to carry it?
That's going to be the next part. But I just want to point out first, the Gemara over here didn't tell you what's the din for another yid, right? The Gemara also. For the other, only for the yid himself was done for. The Gemara doesn't tell you if another yid is about to benefit from it. But look at the next part of the Gemara. If in the town where you are, it's not the season and you don't have these fruits attached to the ground, so he did not do a melacha deiraisa for you. So then it depends. So teichat tchum, if he bought it from inside the tchum Shabbos and Yom Tiv, then it's mutter. You're allowed to use it because he didn't do any isser for you. He just carried it for you. You're allowed to carry on Yom Tiv, and there's no problem. You're allowed to use it.
You're also allowed to carry on Yom Tiv.
Cut.
You're also allowed to
carry, yeah. But chutz l'tchum. But if he brought it in from outside the tchum of Shabbos and Yom Tiv,
yeah, you're allowed to carry on Yom Tiv.
Why isn't that shvus to shvus?
Are you allowed to cut it off the tree?
No cut. He says he bought something.
Tchum Shabbos is only
it's not going now.
In tchum Shabbos is only a shvus, so here's only a shvus to shvus.
Right. So you're allowed to.
It's still usher.
Why? Shvus to shvus.
It's only shvus to shvus. Only mutter b'malkei mitzvah. It's not b'malkei mitzvah.
Einig Yom Tiv.
We're not talking about any Yom Kippur. There's a regular shvus to shvus we're talking about over here. Right, the guy did a malacha for you.
He's coming to give you a present, he said.
He brought you a present.
But it's geschmack. I want a fruit on Shabbos.
Just because it's geschmack, it doesn't mean it's a mitzvah. We said yesterday that it's only considered tzarich mitzvah if you don't have anything else what to eat. If you don't have any other fruits, if you don't have anything else,
then it's a real.
Then it's a tzarich mitzvah. Then it's a tzarich mitzvah. You won't have enough. But if you have other fruits, to eat, then it's not a tzarich mitzvah. You don't need it.
You're allowed to cook, except you're allowed to carry, so you can't say it. It's like all the coolest you have.
But look, if it's mechutz tchum, it's aser. But then it says v'haba b'shvil Yisrael zeh, something which was brought for one yid, muter l'Yisrael acher. You're allowed another yid.
You're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to, but another yid is allowed to do it. So because
he doesn't know, he didn't see it, because he didn't see it.
Oh, so the reason makes perfect sense. What are we worried about? What's the reason?
Ask a guy.
What's the reason we don't allow someone to benefit from the malach of a guy? Because we're worried that he might come to do it himself. But you don't have that problem because if he's going to tell the guy to do it for him, then he's not going to allow to use it. It's only the person who it wasn't done for is allowed to use it. Right. The person who is done for is allowed to use it. So we don't have a problem with someone telling a non-Jew to do it for him.
What if someone tells him a guy brought this?
Yeah.
So why? What's the difference? If he saw the guy bring it, or someone tells him the guy brought it.
Who did the guy bring it for?
So what if it me? And now my son's about to eat the fruit. I say you can't. The guy brought it. How could you eat it?
And so first of all, if he brought it for you, so good chances are it's also for your whole family also.
Fine, my friend said this. My friend.
So your friend is allowed to eat it.
But if he knows that it's from a guy,
even though he knows it's from a guy,
why?
The whole thing. Because what are we worried about? You're worried that he's going to tell the guy to do it?
No, you said he's going to do the malach himself.
No, not that he's going to do the malacha. We don't allow someone to benefit from the malacha of a guy because he might come to tell the guy to do it. But we don't have that problem because if he tells the guy to do it, he's not going to allow to benefit from it.
It doesn't say in the Torah anywhere.
It's only mutter.
It says about
this is the Rabbanon.
What does it say deraisa as far as your animals now?
That's Isser Mechamer. Your avodim, your slaves and your animals. It says you're not allowed to have them work for you on Shabbos. But this is he's not your slave. He's not your animal.
It's a boy that give you a present.
Yeah, so he's just
a technical slave would be a deraisa.
I don't remember. It might be a machlekes rishonim, but it's for sure aser.
You don't know if it goes in, if that's part of the malach Shabbos. It could be another.
I'm pretty sure there are shit that I don't remember. I think there are shit that I think there might be a machlekes rishonim whether it's this or that. I don't remember.
It's a pasuk.
What?
It's a pasuk.
It's a pasuk,
but it might not be part of the.
I remember there was a discussion. I don't remember. I remember there was a discussion, but I don't remember all the details. There are for sure opinions that say it's a Issa D'Oraisa. There was some discussion. I don't remember the details,
Who said
so I'm not sure.
Who said that? Psok li psukha.
So the whole thing about a guy is a darbon.
Children.
And you're saying the reason is because of shak.
Oh, so you're not allowed to benefit from what the guy does for you because you might tell the guy to do it. So that problem is only for the Jew who is done for it, but for someone else, someone else is allowed to benefit from it. He might tell the guy to do it for him. If he tells the guy to do it for me, he's not allowed to benefit from him. So you're covered. There's nothing to worry about.
And you're not scared that you told the guy to do it, even though I know I cannot do it, but I want to do it for my friends.
Yeah, but we say
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is that he can't tell the because he won't come to the guy to it because he can't be nana. No one can be nana from a malach guy. So what do you mean?
That's the source of the it's a darbanon.
There's something very important we still have to point out.
You can't give the guy. You can give your friend the fruit because anyway, if he tells the guy to do malach, he can't get hana. What does that mean? No one's allowed to tell a guy to do malach and get hana from it.
No, but if you told a non-Jew to do something for you and he did it for you, could someone else benefit from it?
Why? Yes, I'm asking you why. You're saying because if he would ask the guy, he could get benefit from it. What's that supposed to mean?
Because that's
like a backward svara.
We see from this Mishnah, we see from this Gemara over here that by the way, you have to realize that this case is only talking about by the Rabbanon. When did it say that it's mutal Yisrael acher? It's talking about by Isser Tchumin.
Right.
In the first case, in the first case of the Gemara, where the guy did a malacha de'iraisa, Tchumin, according to some shittas, and let's say Yud Beis Mil, some shittas say it's de'iraisa, but if it was alpayinama, if it was within that, then the kol deis it's only the Rabbanon. So only in that case. But if you realize in the first case, the Gemara didn't tell you it's mutal Yisrael acher. So what's going on? If the guy did a malacha de'iraisa, something which is biblically forbidden, is your friend also allowed to benefit from it?
No.
So there's a machlekes harishayim. So there are two shittas that say it's fine. There's a Ravid and one in the Bali Atesves. The Ri says that yeah, you have the same. Why should there be a difference? Well, it makes perfect sense that it should be permitted. Just like when he did Issa D'Rabbanan, we allow someone else to benefit from him. And we're not worried that he's going to tell the non-Jew to do it for him. Because even if he tells him to do it, he won't be able to benefit from it. So the same thing applies by Issa D'Oraisa.
How can you learn the D'Rabbanan to the D'Oraisa?
It's the same.
So you can't go from the Kal to the Chomer.
The same reasoning is there.
The same reasoning.
You have the same reasoning. However, all the other Shainim, the Ran, the Rashba, who else? I don't remember. In the ways passing la halacha, they passing that no, it's aser. When it comes to iser min atayra, we're machmir. Like plug, the Chum didn't make any chilukim. If a guy did something which is aser min atayra, it's aser for every yid. By Issa D'Rabbanan, if the guy did something which is only Asr D'Rabbanan, so then it's only Asr of a person who was done for. Someone else could use it, is allowed to, a different Yid is allowed to use it, even on Shabbos. Even on Shabbos he's allowed to use it. What?
And there's only one sheet who holds?
Because at Issa D'Oraisa we're late plug. At Chachamim we're extra careful.
So which shita holds that you are allowed to?
That you are is the Ravid and one of the Bali Atesves. But it's a minority opinion. All the other Shainim disagree, and the halacha, and that is the halacha. The halacha is that by Isser, something which is also not Torah.
Not your friend.
So,
yeah, no one is allowed to benefit if the non-Jew did it. If it's only Asr Midrabanon,
so you're not allowed to,
but someone else is allowed to benefit from it. So now there's another. If you realize if you look in the Gemara we just looked at, in the first case where the guy did a malach min atayra, how long does it say it's aser for?
Le'erev.
Bichtei sheyasum. But in the second case, where it tells him where you only did a malach d'Rabbanan, what does it say?
It doesn't say when.
It says aser. It says aser. It doesn't tell you how long it's aser for. So by Isser,
chutz l'tchum also. Chutz l'tchum also.
Chutz Tchum. So by the Isser Min HaTorah it tells you Bichlei Sheyasu. So by the Isser Tchum it tells you Asr. What type of Asr? Asr, just like we said before, that Ad Bichlei Sheyasu, or he means only Asr, right, or Mutter, right, Asr only until Shabbos is over. So the Rosh has the Rosh says that no, the only time we're machmir b'chdei sheyasu is only when the guy did something which is asur min HaTorah, which is something which is biblically forbidden. That's when we have isur b'chdei sheyasu. But if the guy did something for you which is only asur min rabbanon, like isur tchumin, teichid beis mil, so then it's going to be mutter right away after Shabbos, even for the year that it was done for.
Because it's Rabbanon.
Because this is Rabbanon. So this sounds very nice, and it's a very nice verse, but Lefel, halacha, that's not the halacha. that Rishonim argue, and they say no. Even by Issa de Rabbanon, when a guy did a malacha for you, it's going to be Asr Ad Bichlei Sheyasu. There is no difference between a malacha de Raisa and malacha de Rabbanon.
How do they get to that? They don't darshan like that.
How do they say? They say it's Asr, just like the same type of Asr says over there. It's referring to what it said before. They're not saying it's more chamer, they're saying it's the same.
No, because if the Gemara don't tell you, like I said, the Gemara said Chut L'Tchum also one, and the Gemara don't say.
No, they're just saying it's not mashma from the wording. The fact that the lashon doesn't
in the beginning it says, look at the fourth line, Ula'erev nam yasurim b'chdei sheyasa.
Yeah.
In this case, no, just also.
Also. And when the halacha we assume that it's also just like we said before, b'chdei sheyasu, so to view it's also b'chdei sheyasu.
They're saying the majority.
And they're extra papers if anyone didn't get.
You said majority opinion. They learn it. They learn that there's no diak over here.
Yeah.
They're just not making a diak. It's just the way things. The language is not.
Yeah. So there's another opinion of there's another opinion of the Taisves writes that if you look over here, we only mentioned that it's by Isser Tchumin. If he did Isser Tchumin, it's going to be Asr. He brought it from a faraway place, and it's a whole tircha for you to go there. What if the guy just did Heitzah B'Rishus Rabin? If the guy carried something a block, so it's a small amount of time. How? A
guy bought you a mail on Shabbos. If he happened every Shabbos.
He did, but he brought it. Let's say it was Teichat Chum, but
are you allowed to pick up the mail that was dropped off on Shabbos?
Hey, so there is opinion of the Teisus who wants to say that if he just brought something inside the town, he brought it from one house to another house. So even though he did Isser that, he brought it into Rishus Harab, he did something which is also min HaTorah. But what type of hana is it? How long is it going to take you to get it after Shabbos? 5 minutes? You'll walk 2 minutes. You'll walk across the street. You'll get it. That's not really considered a hana. And therefore that opinion wants to and the Teisus wants to say.
By the way,
Teisus wants to say, and also from Rashi, it's mashma like that it's fine. Only by Isser Tchumin, where that's a real hana, is from far away and it would take a long time. That's a real hana. It's going to be Asr. So the halacha is we don't rely on this Rishus Harabim, but we make up pshara. So right, just before we mentioned we have the shit of the Rosh. According to the Rosh, by Issa Rabbanon, you don't need to wait b'chdei sheyasu. Yeah. So we don't fully rely on the Rosh, and we also have the opinion of Teisus that says if you only brought it through Rishus Harabim, it didn't take a lot of time. That's also going to be mutter. So we make up pshara. We say we rely on Teisus only by Issa Rabbanon. If it was a Carmelis, if the guy carried it through a Carmelis, which is only Asr Midrabbanon, then it's going to be then we will rely on Teisei and say that you're not really benefiting. You just brought it across the street. You just brought a block or two. It's not a real benefit, and you're allowed to and you're allowed to use it right away after Shabbos.
What is the Carmelis indicates the distance is shorter? I mean, what is the Carmelis?
Carmelis indicates that it's only Asr Midrabbanon. According to Teisves, even by Issa Deraisa, there is no problem. You're allowed, even if the guy carried it through a street which is Shus Harabim, and he did something which is Asr Min HaTorah, you're allowed to benefit from it because he just brought it a block or so. You're not really. It's not a real benefit.
We're not talking about a large amount of time here.
Yeah, and also you could have gone yourself on Shabbos to the guy's house, and you would have had it right after Shabbos. But so we don't rely on Teisves fully. But when it's only a Isser D'Rabbanon, if it's only a Carmelis, the guy only did Esed Rabbi, he carried it through a Carmelis, which is only Asr Midrabanan. Over there, we will rely on Teisves, and we will allow you to use it right away after Shabbos. You don't have to wait the amount of time you brought it.
But all this is after Shabbos. For
This
sure
is
you're
all,
not-
yeah. For sure, you cannot use it on Shabbos.
We had a shiur over here once with Lona. Like half an hour before Shabbos, I want to put the envelope in the mailbox. And I know he's going to pick it up after he's mentioned. I mean, in Shabbos for sure.
Yeah.
Deliver it for me. I'm allowed to or not.
What was the halacha?
Well, he's doing his job. That's another factor. That he has.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about a non-Jew who's getting paid, it's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
Is he getting paid
Jewish.
per job, per
Okay,
day,
so
per week, per year?
let's go practical
And-
here. They drop off the mail every week, and every week I take the mail. But I don't know.
Mail is a whole different discussion because the person's getting paid. Once you get into a guy who's getting paid,
He's getting-
so you have to know is there schir yoyim, is he getting paid per day, per job, per year? What?
He's getting.
Yeah, it's a whole different discussion. It's
He's getting paid. He's getting
This
a
is-
salary. He's probably getting a
Right, so
yearly salary.
someone who's getting paid is a whole different discussion. I can't talk about that. Over here, someone over here talking about one who's not getting paid. He's just doing you a favor.
He's getting paid is going to definitely be on the lenient side compared to not getting
It depends how he's getting paid. Depends how he's getting paid.
paid. He's getting paid.
There-
He's getting a yearly salary, and it's
I don't-
bi-weekly.
I don't know. I'm not so clear in that part, but so I can't answer you.
You can wait till the evening to pick up the mail.
Problem with mail is
No, I didn't know there was a problem even.
No, but
Is it muksa? I don't know.
if you have a
Depends-
bill, you want to know
depends
how
what it
much,
is.
maybe
Not
by mistake you
necessarily.
open it.
if you have a
I mean, the
single
UPS,
envelope,
the federal price, everybody know when they ring the bell.
You could tear it from the side.
And I open the door.
You don't have to tear it by the tape.
And then
You were allowed to open something, tearing it by the side.
I don't know, mezuzah there.
Destroy the kid.
It's not a kli. It's like a potato chip bag. Fine. So until now we said that. Fine. So now, until now we mentioned that every time a yid does a melacha, a guy does machvir on Shabbos is asur, and you have to wait b'chdei sheyasu. You have to wait after Shabbos amount of time, but that it took the guy to do it for you. But after that, it's mutter. So there's an exception. There's an exception to this rule. There's a case where the Mishnah tells us that if a guy dug a grave or he built a arin for a funeral for a yid, so it says the yid who is done for you should never bury him. You're not allowed to bury that yid over there forever. You're never allowed to use that grave or that arin which was made for the yid
On Shabbos.
on Shabbos.
He dug a grave on Shabbos.
Yeah, so it says you're never allowed to use it. So the question is, what's the difference? How come by the grave you're allowed? How come by grave you're never allowed to use it? And by the case of by candles, and the guy who brought something for you, say you're allowed to use it after the amount of time after Shabbos, the amount of b'chdei sheyasu. So let's see the Mishnah inside. Look on the right side on the bottom. And nachri shehevi chalilin b'Shabbos lo yisped behen Yisrael. A guy who brought flutes. Back then when they would make a eulogy, they would have flutes and they would have different instruments. So lo yisped behen Yisrael. You should not use it to eulogize a yid. According to Taisos and the Rosh, they learned that means ad b'chdei sheyasu. You have these flutes, you have to wait b'chdei sheyasu. But afterwards you're allowed to use it. Elin came bo mimakim karev. Unless it came from a close place. If it came from Teichat Chum, it came from a nearby place, then you're allowed to use it after Shabbos. Asulei arein v'chafrulei kever. If they made built a arein or he dug a kever, then if he did it for himself, he didn't do it for the yid. He covered by Yisrael. You're allowed to bury a yid over there. But v'mishvil Yisrael lo covered by lamis. If he did it for a yid, you should never bury that yid over there who was done for.
1 second. So you're allowed to if he dug it not for.
If he dug it for himself or to sell, he didn't do it for a yid. He did it for himself. So then it's fine. You're allowed to benefit from it. He didn't do it for a yid.
Bury a grave for himself.
For himself to sell.
He's in
for his
he's
relative.
He's in the business. He's in the business of doing that.
He didn't have it in mind. He didn't have it in mind for the
He
yid.
did it for himself
He
to
did-
sell it afterwards, whatever.
It's
So-
expensive real estate for Shabbos.
And so if he did it, so the question is, what's the difference over here? How come here we see it's also a lamis? You're never allowed to benefit from it. And whereas in other case, or in the case by flutes, you see it's mutter. So the Gemara asks this question. Look at the next piece. So the Gemara says, also the Arim Chavlei Kever. It quotes the Mishnah. Amai. Why is it usher forever? Also, by the case of Arin and Kever, after the amount of time it took for the guy to make it, you should be allowed to use it, just like by the flutes. Just like by the flutes, you're allowed to use it afterwards. So to over here.
Meaning, let's say it took him a half an hour to dig it, so half an hour after Shabbos you're allowed to bury it.
You should be allowed to use it, right? That's what seemingly the halacha should be. So Gemara answer. So Amar Ula, Ba'ini Basratya. It's standing in a public place on a road where everyone's passing by, where everyone's passing by, and it's done publicly. Everyone sees what's going on. It's a whole tumult. Everybody knows that this graveyard is being dug for this yid. So the Gemara says, Tenach Kever. I can understand by a grave. Arin Ma'ikal Meimar. The Arin he's doing it in his house. Why is it also forever? So Amar Rabbi Boba Muta al Kivrei. No, because he was also building the Arin on the street where the caver was, and everyone knows that this was done for the Yid. So in a case like this, where everyone sees what's going on, and there's a whole tumult, so suddenly everyone sees that the guy is being Machal Shabbos for a Yid, we are Machmir, and we are Machmir, and it's also for him forever.
What is Basrati in there?
Basrati is like a public street, a public area.
Cemetery is not a public area. Cemetery is outside of the town. Only in Russia could be in the middle of the town.
No,
I guess
It's
so.
a public for the mating.
some places
It could be it's
there.
adjacent to the view of the street. It could be it's like right off the
From
street.
Yeah.
here to
So the question is why
What's the Machmir reveal?
where do you is it every time something is done publicly, every time a malacha is done publicly for a yid, is it going to be asur elamis? Is it going to be asur forever, or is this case special?
Yes.
So most of the Rishonim say that the only reason we're machmir is only by a mace. When it comes to for a dead person, it's very disrespectful. It's very embarrassing that you're going to bury the person. Everyone comes to the grave, they're going to realize this is the grave that was buried for that was dug for him on Shabbos. When it comes to the dead person, we're very careful about his kavod, and we don't want him to be embarrassed. And therefore because of his kavod, we say you should never bury him over there. Someone else you could bury over there, but not that yid. However, the Rambam has a unique shitta. He says no. He says since it was done publicly, it's a whole tumult. Everyone knows the Chacham were extra machmir.
Nobody.
And for any malacha, not only for a mace, any malacha, according to the Rambam, which was done publicly,
Don't use it after Shabbos.
also ilamis. It's also forever. The halacha is the Alter Rebbe Mishabru. They say that you should be machmir like the Rambam. However, leisat seirich if you take a need, if it's important, if you need it for your Shabbos, so that if it's important, then you need it. You can't be makel. You can be rely on the shittas that say is mutter ad v'chtei sheyasu.
What constitutes doing something in public? I mean,
If it's in the street, if it's a public place where everyone passes by and sees.
What if it's a wall cemetery?
what if it's in a
high
shul
rise
like
next to
what
it?
he did over here? It might not be so public.
Maybe 100 people
That's a
who
good
live there
question.
in that high rise and they can all see, but,
It's a high.
but everybody else, it's wall, nobody.
Say if there's a lot of people, if a lot of people I can see, it would be public. If there's a large amount, then it would be.
So how did you get this all to be in one page? These are all separate things, no?
Yeah,
So how did you?
copy and paste. It's a chachma.
This came in a screenshot. You put it.
No, I copy and paste. I have a program, and so. And this how we say it's also lamis. So according to, it's also lamis. So that's only for the yid who was done for. For the yid that it was not for someone else, it's mutter. He's allowed to be someone else. He's allowed to benefit for it after b'chtei
You're allowed to
sheyasu.
bury a different Jew.
Where
You're
does
allowed
it
to
say?
bury a different Jew. What?
Where does it say?
This is on the next column. It's a Tosefta.
Why not Kamina? Why not Kamina? What if everybody's seeing everybody this? It's embarrassed for the mess. And different mess, they're also embarrassed.
It wasn't done for him.
Still.
But it wasn't done
everybody
for him.
gonna
It's
say
not embarrassed.
His kever was buried.
Yeah, but it wasn't done for him. He didn't know the Shabbos wasn't. There wasn't Chilta Shabbos done for him. But the exception to this is if the Yid. This is if the Magen Avram in Simration and Dalid says that if the Yid told the guy to do it for him on Shabbos, then it's going. If he told him it's going to be also for everybody. Not only for the Yid who was done for, if the Yid initiated and told him to do it, it's going to be also for everyone.
If there was a direct command. Or
Yeah.
indirect command, whatever. He didn't do it on his own. But all this we're talking, he did it on his own.
This is if you that's when it's going to be mutter for another yid. But if the yid told him to do it, it's going to be usher forever. Fine, stop here.